Hey everybody, it's Chef Maria, and I'm back. It is, what's today? Tuesday? I think we're on Tuesday today. And I want to show you part 2, or let's call it the unveiling of the no churn wine ice cream. I know you guys were probably so excited, I could hardly sleep last night wondering, how is this going to come out? Well, now I'm going to show you. So, I left this in the freezer for overnight. I kind of poked at it last night to see if it was setting up, going, oh, I hope it did, and it did. As I told you, I was going to put its skin on, which all that means is I put the saran wrap onto the surface. Now, as I told you, on this recipe, I did not put in strawberries as the original recipe called for because my strawberries needed to be thrown away. They were crying for their freedom, so I released them last night. So, I've got a scooper here, my spring-loaded scoop. This isn't technically an ice cream scooper, but I do love it, so I'm going to use it. It's a decent size, and I've got a glass here ready to go. So I'm going to give it a little scoop. Going to dig down. And it did set up. Now, if you have an ice cream scoop, then by all means use your fancy ice cream scoop, but I just have this. So, hey Janine. So I'm going to drop it in. Now I could fill it up. This is just a wine glass I've had forever. I have a collection of wine glasses. I had so many that when I sold my house when I left Illinois, I actually left a whole cabinet full for the new owners because I'm like, I don't need all these glasses, and all my hangers seem to have multiplied as well, so I had tons of hangers. So I'm going to fill it up a little bit more. And you can see as I'm digging in, make sure I'm going the right way, sorry, I'm up way too far. As I'm digging in, it's nice and it's pretty firm. Now remember, this recipe is nothing more than, let me see, it was 2 cups of whipped cream, and I showed you a little trick about whipping that in a bowl that was already chilled and with a chilled beater. And then what did we add to that? We added 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then we streamed in the contents of 1 can of condensed milk. So that was the nature of, oops, move that way, of this particular recipe. And I had my first online class today. Thank you all for joining me. I forgot my gloves today, but I'm going to eat this, so it really doesn't matter. I had my first online cooking class today. It was a baking basic boot camp, and we had a great time together. I taught all the fundamentals of baking, a lot of the important stuff, and then we made brownies. So I've got a whole thing of brownies. So I cut one in a little heart shape. How cute is that? Now the flavor really doesn't match the wine, so I won't tell you the flavor because then you'll be grossed out. But I just thought that'd be super cute if I had my glass of wine ice cream and I put a little brownie on the top. Now you could get more creative than that, and you could swirl it with whipped cream if you wanted to. You could probably even pour a little additional wine on it or whatever, you know, some fruit. That would probably be totally delicious. And I just thought the brownie on top was just super cute. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you the flavor because then you be like, they don't go together. So we're just going to pretend it's just a luscious chocolate brownie, and we've got our wine ice cream. And I'm going to get a spoon, and I'm going to take a little taste of it for you because I just haven't had enough sugar today. Actually, I have. So I'm going to take out my little brownie. I'll put him down. Everything is him. And I'm going to try a little bit. Now remember, this is just all whipped cream, condensed milk. So let's go review the recipe one more time because I know a lot of people tuned in late yesterday like, what is she making? This is no churn wine ice cream. 2 cups of heavy cream. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Whip that until it stiff peaks. And then when it stiff peaks, try and say that slow, stiff peaks, then slowly stream in, or in the industry call it rain in, where you're slowly pouring in the sweetened condensed milk while the motor of the mixer is still running on low. So you stream it until it's mixed in, and then you pour in, take it out, and then mix in your half a cup of wine. So here we go. It's definitely sweet. But you know what? Who's online with me? Hey, Charles. Or Chuck. Hey, Bex. Hey, Janine. Thank you guys for joining me. It is sweet, but I can taste the wine. I wonder, now my mind wonders what would have happened if I would have added more wine. I stuck to the recipe and I just added a half a cup like it called for. But I wonder if maybe I would have gone just a little bit more, or maybe it was just my wine, because you guys know I had used that for several things already. Okay, I gotta take my glasses off so I can see. I agree, Bex, never enough wine. But I bet you could have gone a little bit more. So it called for a half a cup of wine. I bet you could have gone 3/4 of a cup of wine. I would try that. Now, my wine is now gone, and I don't need to make any more ice cream. I'm trying to read these comments because this is more fun this way. Yeah, it doesn't have enough color. Totally agree. So if I would have put the strawberries in there, it would have given it some more color, because you can see that is really light. So maybe putting some more wine in there. That wine that I had was pretty dark. It was a pretty deep red, little purplish tint, as you can even see in here. If you wanted to add the color, add a little bit to the color, you could add, hey Tanya, how are you? See, this is great because I can actually say hi to you guys. I can see this, so if you have questions, I'm going to stay on here for a little bit because I don't have anything else to do right now. Well, actually, I have course material to write for the class tomorrow. Hey Anna, the basics, baking basics boot camp class went awesome today, so that was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I talked a really long time, but what I actually did was I split it into 4 separate videos. So we had one where I was going over all the fundamentals, and we made the brownies, and I stopped it because for some reason the comments weren't showing up on the screen. So I got the brownies in the oven, and then I just went back on and answered all the questions on another live. Then I pulled the brownies out of the oven and showed that on another live, and then hey, oh, Rockstar, you're so sweet. You're my new best friend. Call me every 5 minutes. And then on the last time, I pulled them out of the oven, or not the oven, out of the pan, because they're actually on a parchment paper sling. So I showed them all about that. And if you're looking for that content and you're trying to find, you're like, what are you talking about? Where is it at? It's in a secret group. It's in a private group. So you don't actually see it until you pay for the class. And the way I did that first class is all the information is recorded. So if you want to watch it on your own, you'll see everything step by step. I assumed you had no prior baking knowledge, and it was really cool because a couple of people on the live, the students, they actually baked along with me, and they posted their pictures. So that was really exciting, and I'm going to check with the other ones and see if they're baking soon or if they baked after they got done. So that was cool. I gave a lot of information, a lot of tips, just like I do in this, but it was over an hour split into several videos. So anyway, I'm adding more classes, and as I go through the first class, then I'll add the recorded video, but you can still leave messages in the group. You can personal or PM me and ask questions, so I'll be accessible for questions related to the class, not just wide open and everything and all your baking issues, but to the class. So anyway, I've got my wine ice cream. So tell me what's going on. I can see the screen. What are you guys up to today? What would you like to see me bake in this demo next? I'm going to give it a little time and give you time to answer. Just make sure it's something easy. I'm not looking for anything super complicated because I kind of need to stay right here in this space so it stays controlled. But what would you like to see? I know the videos where I do something with wine or alcohol are very popular, but you might have something else that's simple that I could do as well. So what do you guys got? Anything? I'll wait for a minute while I eat my ice cream. Nothing? Oh, hey, I got a chocolate chip. Remember I dumped in some of the Ghirardelli's dark chocolate chips? I've got a chocolate chip in here. Someplace. I think I just pushed it to the bottom of the glass. That's really crunchy. Kind of messes up the flavor. Okay, Bex, what do you got? All right, Tanya, let's see. Marshmallow treats. Oh, I've made marshmallows from scratch before, and let me tell you, it's some work. They're not impossible, but you have to move really fast because that marshmallow batter sets really quick. Let's see, Tanya, I'm drinking wine. I had ice cream at Carolina Cones today. Should have mixed them together. Absolutely. I was thinking if I would have had some more wine left, that this would kind of make a really cool wine float. I might still do that. You probably have to eat it really quick. All my wine is gone. But maybe you guys will do that. Maybe you'll make some wine ice cream of your own, and then after our 30-day quarantine is up, you can invite me over. Okay, what's our next comment? Larry from Blono, which is otherwise Bloomington Normal. Good to see you, my friend. All right, and Tanya, yep, it's pretty good, but I gotta stop eating it. Okay, so now that I took the brownie off of there, because I didn't want to gross you guys out, I want to tell you what flavor this is. I made a whole thing of brownies in the demo today, and then you could cut them out into shapes, or you could just, cut them as you eat it, like a lot of us do. So this is actually a chocolate brownie with semi-sweet chocolate chips, and the light color in there are peanut butter chips. So I didn't want to gross you out when I had it sticking in the wine, but it is good. So that's what I made today, so that was fun. But now I have a whole 9x13 pan of them, and it's just me, so that may not go well. All right, what other question you guys got? I can't talk. Maybe it's the wine and the ice cream. What other questions do you guys have for me? Made a big thing of ice cream. This is my 8x8 pan, Pyrex pan. But I'm going to put the ceramic back on it and stick it back in the freezer, because I don't need ice cream and brownies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the remainder of the week. No questions? Nothing? All right. Well, if you have any, you can still post them after. Always good to see you guys. I'll figure out something for tomorrow. Oh, what? We got one. Bex. Yum, what will you do with the leftovers? Come on over. I got to write class material tonight, Tanya. Thank you. But I might take you up on that later this week. What else have we got? Hey, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was in our class today. She made brownies with us. She wants to come over too. Everybody wants to come over. That would be fine. Except we just have to stay 6 feet apart, right, guys? The leftovers, what I'm going to do is ice cream. So I'm going to stick it back in the freezer and try to be responsible in my consumption of it. The brownies, I am going to wrap all those up really well. Brownies keep at room temperature for quite a while. I have to look. I think it's like at least 5 to 6 days, something like that. I just don't need to leave them out because I'll eat them every day if they're sitting out. So I may just wrap them up and stick them in the freezer, and that will just have to be what I do because I don't want to keep eating them. Okay, all right. So Tanya's calling for a party in my parking lot. Thanks. Let's come party at your deck, on your deck instead. But anyway, well, it's been fun connecting with you guys as always. Thank you for tuning in to see my latest creation. I'm going to say the recipe one more time. I see more people are joining now, so I'm going to say the recipe and just recap again and give you a chance to write any comments if you want, because we're just having fun together now. And the wine and the ice cream's kicking in. So we have no churn wine ice cream, which was 2 cups of whipped cream, 2 teaspoons of vanilla into the electric mixer that went. We whipped it until it was stiff peaks, and then we slowly streamed in 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. And then after it was mixed well, we didn't want to whip and go crazy at that point, but just after it was combined, let's go with that word, then we put in the 1/2 cup of wine. This was the color of the wine that I had. It was a dark red, but it's not very dark in the ice cream, so I think you could probably go to 3/4 cup of wine, and it might work just fine. But it is sweet, but you do actually taste the wine in here, so that was really cool. And I told you about my little brownie, which is double chocolate with peanut butter chips. Okay, what did Beck say? The recipe, will the recipe work with non-dairy options? I have coconut milk. Ooh, that's a good question. You can actually Google this recipe. I'm trying to remember what site I pulled it off of, but if you Google no churn wine ice cream, that is the exact title of the recipe, so you could get a hit on it and see what other people tried to do. Coconut milk, I'm trying to remember if it's coconut milk or cream of coconut. I'm forgetting which now, but there's one of them that actually does whip up. Google it, Bex, and you'll see. There is one that actually whips up like whipped cream. And people who need a non-dairy option, or vegan, or things of that nature, they do prefer that and use that in a lot of their dishes. So one of them whips like whipped cream, and it might work. I haven't tried it, so I can't say for sure, but you may be able to Google and find some information so you don't waste product, because I know that stuff is kind of pricey. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. I don't see anything else coming through. Elizabeth, you have any brownies left? Did you cut yours yet? Or did you not make yours yet? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Anybody typing? All right. Okay, guys. Well, it is 6:07. I hope you're having a great night. Have fun being here with you as always. I've already started looking at recipes for tomorrow. Oh, you didn't make yours yet. Okay. I've already started looking at recipes for the demo tomorrow. Got a few ideas. Always have a few ideas, but I do have a class to teach tomorrow and others to prepare too, so I'll get something figured out soon. Well, you guys be safe, stay home, stay home, stay home, wash your hands, and we'll be on the other side of this, or we'll be on the other side of this soon. All right, see you guys soon. Have a great night.